You must understand the world we live in. The world we live in is not very kind, by the way. It's very harsh. Haven't you met some of that? Ntabwo murahura nabyo. Ntabwo urahura n'ukuntu iyi si itafite imbabazi. Njye mpura nabyo buri munsi, every day. Ntabwo ifite imbabazi kuko nta muntu uri hariya hanze wirirwa atekereza ikibazo cyawe ngo kigukemurire. Buri wese afite ikibazo cye atekereza ashaka gukemura, sibyo? Ndetse hariya hanze hakaba n'abantu iyo yakubonyemo ikibazo aragufasha ahubwo kugira ngo kikuremerere. Oh yes, probably there are more of that kind of people than those who will come and give you support. There are those who will want to make heavier your burden. So that is lesson enough to tell us that we really have to face our problems. We have to confront our challenges and deal with them. Yesterday or the other day, but I think it's yesterday, the day before. Have you seen some of you follow the news on, I was reading Financial Times. Does anyone read the Financial Times? There is something which says that, of course, full of, I think someone tried to be humorous, but also with a tinge of sarcasm. And it meant something very negative. Where the headline is that Kagame wants or makes poverty data toe his line. But what he meant was Rwanda is faking data to show that things are going well when it is not true. This made the headline. Well, first of all, I wish I could make any data toe my line, because my line, I'm convinced, is a good one. But at the same time, I bet with anyone that there is actually nothing fake or fabricated or doctored about the progress we are making. There's no question about it. If anyone is saying that we still have problems to deal with, then he is right. Because we have many problems we have to deal with. There's no question about that. There are still many challenges we have to deal with. And we are dealing with them and we will deal with them. And there is no news, there is nothing new about Rwanda having problems, and all of us working together to make a difference for ourselves. Then somebody else made a comment under that. He said, you see, now Rwanda or Kagame are going to come up with a story that this is Western propaganda. Now, he's right on one point and not right on another. On one point that he's right is that actually there is something called Western propaganda. On that one, he's right. But why he said that also was to preempt anyone who would actually call it propaganda, because they are conscious that it is also there. But I will quickly go to another point. I can also tell where it is coming from. And by the way, before I reach that point, the same time that story is going on in FT, there are also many other stories that are based on facts, whether it is the World Bank, it's the IMF, it's the World Economic Forum, it's whatever you want that you can rely on. That says a different story. Also, if you follow news, the rating agencies, S&P, one of them, has actually upgraded Rwanda from B to B plus with positive outlook. This has happened in the same week. The same week about Rwanda, faking data about improvements in poverty levels, and then these other stories as well. But I will tell you where it came from, I think, I suspect. You can find out. Do you remember another interview one time I had and asked somebody where she comes from or who she is? So it's like the fraternity out there is trying to rally and defend somebody, but I tell you what, that is my right place to be. I honestly enjoy these fights. And not only in words, but, and this is why when I'm talking to you young people, I really want us to be together in this fight, because it is a fight for who we are and who we want to be. It's a fight about ourselves, about Rwandans, about Africans, and we have been so downtrodden, largely because of ourselves. Because one, we have not addressed some of the things that people build on to look down upon us when we can solve these problems. When you don't solve problems that you can solve, and these are the problems that are going to create grounds for people to look down upon you, I think you are largely to blame. So, we should first take this blame. But I also think some of these people have no right whatsoever to look down upon people. Because if we are to create a Rwanda that we want, that we feel is good for us, who is this little somebody who comes to tell people that this is what you should be having, this is what is good for you, this is not good for you? So I turn around and say, well, you want me to tell you what is not good for you? Or what is good for you? One thing that I tell such a people that is not good for them is to come to me and tell me what is not good for me.